Ladies and gents, good afternoon and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Lucy Davis and I am joined today by a very, very beautiful soul called Alison from sensitivespirit.com. Now, this is really beautiful and I'm going to give you a little bit of backstory before I hand over to Alison to share her journey and share how her and I have connected. But basically, we received an email from Alison some time back asking me to be involved in something called the New Earth Summit. Now, I get lots and lots of requests like this, and Morwenna always sends them over to me, and she's like, feel into this, see if this is something for you. And I always go and check them out and watch a little bit of a video. And, it's never just a yes with me because, as most of my followers know, I'm not exactly time rich, although I'm working on that. And it's all about vibration with myself. So I actually watched a little bit of Alison and her New Earth Summit, and I was like, yeah, you know what? This is something really beautiful. And I see the longevity with this, and I would love to be involved. So, Alison, first and foremost, welcome to my YouTube channel. It's great to have you on.
Thank you very much. So glad to be here and meet you again, Lucy.
Yeah, it's beautiful to be able to hold space again, Alison. So I think let's get straight into it. Like, where on earth did the New Earth Summit come from? Because I don't think this is what you've always done, is it?
It's not, no. And it is a bit of an odd, windy, windy journey to get there. It was interesting when we first connected initially for the summit interview. So much of your history resonated with me. We were both in a very demanding corporate job, which pretty much nearly took us out, both of us in different ways. Both our thyroids pretty much crashed because we weren't speaking our truth and we weren't living our truth either. So the universe in the end stepped in and I was forced to leave. I was actually in education for 25 years. And the first 15 years actually were fine. It was just the last 5-10 years were becoming increasingly constricted. It was becoming less and less child-centered. The pressure on the poor teachers, education, the teachers get a rap at the moment, but it really isn't their fault. They're stuck in a very bad situation. It was awful, and my heart goes out to those teachers who are still struggling in that environment. But I did actually, I did a big energy course, and my energy shifted completely because I was so stuck. It managed to change and shift my energy, which released me energetically from the job because I didn't know how to leave. Teaching was all I'd ever done. And, I had a big mortgage. I had lots of animals to look after. I just didn't know how else to live. But the universe managed to maneuver it so that I could leave, which was amazing. And I put that down to the energy work and the inner work that I did because I was so stuck before then. And then gradually, I slowly retrained in energy work and worked a lot on myself and started my business. And I was really happy, gathering clients, had some beautiful one-to-one clients. And I thought, oh, this is it. This is lovely. Then me and my husband moved to France because I really, really always wanted a horse rescue centre. I don't know why, but I did. It was always my passion. So we moved to France to be able to afford to do that. And I continued with my business, growing that. That was doing well. But I was also doing some work in the UK still, helping a disabled man run his charity, he employed me going into schools to help him teach young children about disabilities. And that was great. But then lockdown hit. And I lost my job because, well, initially I couldn't travel. Then I didn't want to take a certain intervention. And that was a real shock for me. I went into quite a dark space in 21 and 22. I still did have some lovely clients, but I think I was picking up on the collective energy as well. And I'm doing a masterclass as part of the summit, so I'm going to go into more detail about that and what happened. But it was a very dark time. And it was a shame because everything was so lovely when I first moved to France. And then suddenly it seemed to go, turn upside down. But with help, with the energy work that I do and with a strong community, and I've got an amazing swap partner, We worked with each other, and I pulled myself back out of it. And this idea came to do a summit. I love summits. I think the format is really a successful win-win-win format, because it's free for people. Well, this summit is free for people to register and watch. The lovely speakers kindly give their time to me and to the audience, but it enables them to then share their message to a wider audience as well. So I joined this group with a coach about how to put on a summit, and it was for holistic healers and practitioners, and it was going really, really well. I was so enthusiastic about it. It felt really right. I was just, you know, when you just buzz it and you've got all these ideas and who to, you know, approach to interview and everything. And then about 4 months into the course, when it was getting to the point of starting to actually reach out to speakers and make it real, this, oh my goodness, this gripping fear and terror took hold of me. It came from nowhere, this anxiety. And I thought, I can't do it. I just can't do it. Not going to do it. So I just thought, carry on with my one-to-one clients, very happy doing that. But it's because I wanted to share this, because I was listening to your New Earth Vibrations video the other day, and I just thought, oh, I think I'll share this with Lucy's audience, because you talked about, sometimes you don't know why you're doing things. You get called to do these things. You're like, what do I do?
Sometimes all the time.
Yeah. And it was like that. It was like that. And I'd wake up in the middle of the night, like, what am I doing? I don't want to do this. But something kept pushing me. I couldn't leave it. But I did have to literally take 18 months away from the course. This is how long ago the idea started. I actually got kicked off the course because I wouldn't do it in the particular time frame I was meant to do it. But I just couldn't. I had to do the work on myself and find out where this was coming from. And the reason I wanted to share it with the audience particularly is because we spoke about it on your interview. We talked about relationships. That was the theme of your talk. But we also talked about speaking our truth, how if we don't, it can cause, you know, thyroid or throat chakra problems, which it did for both of us. But also having just being able to do that inner work and go in there and go to those places. Otherwise things won't shift. And I just thought your audience would appreciate from your talks and your experience what I did. So I literally spent 18 months going into those places trying to find out what caused it. Wasn't just like, oh gosh, I'm going to be a bit nervous speaking in front of people. It really was bigger than that. It was pure terror that I'd wake up in the middle of the night. My heart was, you know, palpitations. So yeah, I spent 18 months going down there. Whatever you want to call them, past lives, parallel lives, it doesn't matter what they are, but lots of situations came up, and it was all to do with, the main theme was over past lives, parallel lives. I have been punished, persecuted for speaking my truth and being out there helping others. And the past lives or the situations that I was shown and I worked with, I was being hunted down by the authorities, the establishment, whatever you want to call it, for helping and healing others or for speaking my truth, whichever situation it was. And interestingly, one situation, one lifetime that I accessed, my now husband was in that life, and he helped me escape because they wanted to kill me. And he was devastated. He was already married at the time. We're going back hundreds of years ago for this. I can see now the image. It was kind of that situation. And he really wanted to come with me to help me. And he couldn't because, you know, you just didn't, in those days, he had a wife and family. But he really wanted to help me. And he did help me escape that lifetime. And I realized then that's why he's come into my life now, to help me with this, because I couldn't do this without him, with all the tech support and everything, and just his encouragement as well. He keeps me very grounded. So I know that's a definite soul relationship. So yeah, I just wanted to basically share that journey of how I ended up where I am now, with the summit due to launch on the 1st of June. And it's been a labor of love and a really long journey. And I've not shared that in any of the other promo interviews that I've done, not because I didn't think the people would understand. It didn't occur to me, to be honest. It was just when I was listening to your video about that you just feel called and you just guided. And the other thing as well, I think when you know you're doing something that's in alignment, I thought, well, I'm going to get so nervous before each interview. But I knew then that it's okay, because I know now the tools that I've got with energy work and breath work. I knew that if I did enough of that before each interview, I'd be in a calm state. But the weird thing, Lucy, is I didn't even need to.
Of course.
By the time I'd done all that work, it's all glided. And normally, you know, I'm not one to put myself out there or be seen. Now I know why. But it's just flowed, and it is because I went and I processed and healed the trauma from all those lives, or whatever you want to call them. So yeah, that's how I got into it.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of really important messages that you've spoken about there, and I no doubt they will come through the summit. Obviously, I know what me and you spoke about. I don't know what anybody else has spoken about, and I look forward to hearing those. But sometimes just because we get a calling, it doesn't mean it has to be in that moment. I think that's a very important piece of the puzzle. People get a calling or they get an intuitive thing and they think, I have to act on it right now. Sometimes it's about sitting with it and allowing it to process and surrendering to the exact time. And a really, really good example of this is when I knew about a year ago that I had to go to New Zealand and Australia, but I didn't know when it was going to be, but I just knew that I had to go there at some point. And so it was kind of like my ego wanted to go, because I hadn't been back to New Zealand. Well, I hadn't been to New Zealand, but I hadn't been back to Australia since I left there in September 2019 before the lockdown. So my family, my loved ones, my friends over there, I was desperate to get back to, but it was my ego that was trying to drive that. I wanted to get it done. And literally I woke up one day and I got the memo, it's go time. And that's when you know. And sometimes they give you the insights so that you can gather the tools. So you had to go on the course, you had to go and do your work on the past lives, you had to figure out, why does my husband have to be involved in this, you know? And these are really beautiful tools. And then obviously it's divinity, which is why it's gone with ease and grace. And that's what happens with all of my trips. I build them up in my head a little bit, sometimes, not always, but sometimes. And actually they go with ease and grace because it's the perfect time for it. So I think that was a really good message. And the second thing that you said there about, you know, hiding in the shadows, there are so many women particularly, but there's a lot of men out there as well that are hidden in the shadows because they were burnt at the stake, they had their throats slit, they were stoned, and they were, you know, abused for speaking and for honoring their truth. And if there is one message, and I've got goosebumps all over me as I'm saying this, yeah, I'm pleased about that, because I'm like, wow, like literally my whole body, if you guys my whole body is going, this is the lifetime where we need to remove that shackle. This is the lifetime where we have to say, you know what, I love you, but this isn't in alignment with me. You know what, I know I could get hurt from speaking the truth and putting my neck out on the line here, but I know that I've got to honor it. Yeah. And I think it's such a beautiful message that you've shared here with my community, Alison. So just a few more details on the summit. How many speakers were there in total?
22 in total. So
what other number would it be?
Exactly. Yeah, that was Divide as well. It was going to be a lot less. But yeah, that felt right to me. I'm really so pleased and so thankful to all the speakers, including your good self, for giving your time. So yes, 22 speakers. I'm giving each speaker a day each, because a lot of summits, they air multiple speakers on each day. And a lot of people haven't got time, have they, to listen to 3 or 4 interviews in one day. So each speaker gets one whole 24-hour period that their interview is aired live. And yeah, so it starts on the 1st of June.
And what time does it air?
It's going to be put up 9 o'clock British Standard Time every day, but it'll be for 24 hours.
Perfect.
So wherever you are in the world, there'll be some point that you'll be able to access it for 24 hours, and then the next person will be aired. So that's the logistics. You can register though from Monday, from the 20th of May, and I'll give you the links to put under the video for people if they'd like to register. So it's free to register, free to watch. In typical Summit Styly, there's the option to purchase an upgrade pass. I'm not doing it in typical Summit Styly. This is one of the things that jarred with me with the training. It was very much, right, start off at this price, then keep giving the pressure, and let them know that after, you know, this day is going to go up if you don't buy now. And it just didn't resonate with me at all. That I feel that's kind of the old way of doing things. It didn't resonate with me. So I'm going to keep it at 29 British pounds. I'm not going to keep putting it up. I'm keeping it as affordable as I can. It includes all the interviews, transcripts and audios. You'll get lifetime access to them. Plus there's some bonus interviews, which I'm currently doing. Plus it will include my life masterclass throughout the summit, where I talk about transcending the old paradigm and the techniques that I've used that have helped me. And there's also some other goodies in there, and all the proceeds go towards my horse rescue in France, which is now non-profit. So it means that every single pound, euro, dollar, every single bit of money goes towards the horses, because I do really want to expand the sanctuary. I've got such a lovely vision, a New Earth vision, for how I want it to be, to include bringing the community in to work with the horses, especially children. There's something magical when you put children and horses together. So that's my vision. So yeah, every single penny goes towards the horse sanctuary, which is now, we've got a website. I'll give you the website for the horse rescue as well. It's happy-tales, TALES.org.
Perfect.
So you can meet all the horses we've got on there.
I love horses. I am horse crazy. I don't know if we spoke about that last time, but I've ridden.
No, I don't think we did.
Yeah, my animal is the horse, you know, like now I know that I'm even more passionate about it. You should have told me that at the beginning and I would have been like, oh my gosh. But so ladies and gents, please do. It's starting on the 1st of June, 9 a.m. British Standard Time. You will be able to start accessing the videos for live. So all of the information to be able to get to this will be in the description field of this video. So please do go and check it out. Now, I know in my following, I have a lot of ladies that work with horses, that have, you know, horse rescues, and they've got all of these beautiful different ways of working with horses. So ladies, let's all pull together now and support each other. I think it's very, very important that we build the community so that we help each other along this way. And it's screaming soul school to me, because obviously there's the healing side and the horses and the animal side that I want to bring into that as well. So for me, this is just brand new earth. We're in the new earth vibration now. We're seeing the divide more than ever, and we are stepping forward. So Alison, I think your summit has come at exactly the right time. Divine timing, of course. So if anybody's got any questions, I know you're going to give me the website and you're going to give me the ticket link to sign up. How do people contact you or follow you, Alison?
Yes, it's on there as well. It's sensitivespirit.com. It's got a hyphen in between, sensitive-spirit.com. So you can contact me through there. I'm also inviting people. I've set up a Facebook group, New Earth Odyssey. So please feel free to join that. I will be doing further interviews in the Facebook group, and I want it to be a community where we can all support each other. The other thing I felt really called to do was again, this was something I didn't have, so I'm just assuming and trusting that this is from spirit as a calling, is to create groups where where people can express what they've been through, especially over the past few years, because I think a lot of people are stuck in either anger or victim consciousness or depression and hopelessness, especially how they've been treated. And they're not able to move on from that. So I would like to give people the opportunity to be part of some small healing groups where we can talk about that. And it's not obviously talking about in a bemoaning and, you know, they did this to me, this happened to me. Yeah, it's not about that. But I also think as well, people are still being gaslighted. People are still being shunned from their communities. I've spoken to some people, their whole families still aren't talking to them. You know, they haven't seen their grandchildren. It's just
Wow.
their businesses. They've lost their businesses, or they still haven't got their jobs back. Some people have lost their homes. You know, it's been very traumatic. So I want to do something to help shift that, because it's a stuck energy that people are in. And they don't know how to move through it because it's horrific what people have been through.
Yeah.
But it's giving people the chance to actually share what happened to them, share their experience, have it acknowledged and heard and validated, because that hasn't happened to many people. I was lucky. I had a community. My husband was on the same page, and I had my swap partner, because I was completely shunned from my community and I lost my job. And we'd just taken on 3 pregnant mares at the beginning of lockdown. We both lost our jobs, and we were like, you know, it was traumatic, but we got through it. Some people, their lives have been ruined. And so I want to be able, I feel really strongly to be able to give support to those people who have been treated appallingly and don't know where to go with that energy.
Yeah,
So to
and
give them a
how to
voice.
step it forwards, you know, how to step out.
Exactly.
And
Yes.
it's interesting. I had a conversation. I've just taken on a new client actually, and I had the conversation with them this morning, and they kept saying, "And how do I do that? And how do I do that?" And you know what? It is time for the people that have done it to leave the stepping stone, so other people can actually walk in it now. So it sounds like a great idea. Sounds like a really great idea,
Yeah, but
Alison.
like you said, it's not just talking about it, it's processing it and moving through it. That's
Exactly.
the key. Yeah,
Very
so that's what I really want to get from it. So if anybody does feel they're in that space, you know, join the group, and we're there to support each other. But I will hold those group healing sessions as well to move us all through this. And even if it's not something you've been personally affected by, just as you would know with your work, Lucy, just people who attend these group healings, there's always, we call it in my energy training, borrowed benefits. You will always get some healing for yourself as well. So that's something I feel very strongly that I would like to offer going
Beautiful.
forward from the summit.
Yeah, beautiful. Well, I think it's fair to say the summit sounds like it's going to be amazing. Do you want to draw? Is it right for me to ask if there's any names that you don't mind dropping that people might be like, oh, they'd be interested?
No, not at all. This is the weird thing, though. I'll say to somebody, if you heard it, some people, yeah, like, of course I have. And then another person, like, no, but then another one, it's the other way around, you know. But
Just
yeah, let me get
maybe
my.
give us a few names or something that, yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't know if you've heard of Kerry Kay. She's going to start off the summit because she talks about how creation started and
Beautiful.
why we're in the situation we're in, which kind of gives a good context to it all. Oh, and I just want to say to everybody as well, we do talk about sort of, it's not for the love and light brigade, but I don't think your audience are particularly that anyway, because not that I want to put people off, but if you really are just focused on love and light, it's probably not the summit for you, because we do talk about some difficult truths, you know, about how we got here. But it's very solution focused, it's very positive, because we are in, I'm getting goosebumps now, we are in the new earth energies, and these talks will help us access them more. So yes, she does talk about how the planet became enslaved. So it sounds a bit grim, but it's all very positive. But I wanted her to start off giving that context. Stella Fairbairn talks about taking back our divine sovereignty. Sarita Sol comes from a shamanic perspective about calling back our soul fragments that have been splintered off from trauma from the old paradigm. Abby Wynn, we talk about PTSD and healing from that, especially in the last 4 years. Catherine Edwards, we do life hacks about, you know, raising our vibrations. The lovely Lucy Davis, we had a great chat about relationships and when to speak our truth. I loved our conversation. Honey C. Golden, we talk about the death of ego and the new energies. Ella Ringrose is, oh my goodness, such an old soul in a young body, talks about children of the new earth. Laurie Spanier talks about the role of animals, because obviously that's something that's very dear to me. Christian Sundberg, he brings a very spiritual perspective from his pre-birth memories. He's got amazing memories, and he's still got all the memories that we forget when the veil comes down. When we're born, he's still got access to them all. So yes, I've asked him lots of good questions.
I'd like to listen to that myself. Definitely.
Yeah, no, there's some fascinating ones. Blossom Goodchild, she brings through White Cloud, which is lovely. She channels the Federation of Light. Oh, there's loads more. It's amazing.
Oh, it sounds like an amazing lineup, Alison. It really, really, really does. So, ladies and gents, if any of that sounds like a little bit of you, then please do check out the description field for more information. And like I say, if you need to message me and I need to get hold of Alison, that's absolutely fine. But all of Alison's details will be there for you. So, Alison, I just want to wish you all the best of the luck. Obviously, for the sign-ups come Monday, but especially for the launch on the 1st of June. And I'm really, really excited to watch along with everybody else. So thank you so much for inviting me to be a speaker. Thank you so much for jumping on here today and sharing your part of the journey. It's important. A lot of the times, the reasons behind it get forgotten about. So it's really beautiful to hear that. Thank you. And any questions? Start following Alison and give her a message and she will be able to come back to you. Is there any last messages you'd like to leave, Alison?
Just to say that the actual remit initially for the summit was based on a quote, and it says, "What is the greatest challenge to being alive?" And the answer is to witness the injustice in this world and not allow it to consume your light, because that is where we're all at, isn't we? For those of us who know what's going on, it's about how do we stay in our light, in our power, raise our vibrations, knowing what's going on. And that was the reason for it, because I've got so many good friends who are very heart-based, but they're traumatized by what they know. And it's keeping the vibration low, and then it's making it difficult to access these amazing new energies that are here. I can just feel them so strongly at the moment. They're here for the taking. But if we can't pull ourselves out of that trauma response and that fear, it's going to be much harder for us to access them. So yeah, that was the initial quote behind the summit. So yes, it's how to navigate these energies to raise our vibrations.
Love that so much. Ladies and gents, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. Alison, thanks so much for giving your time so that we could get this recorded today. And I will be seeing you on the 1st of June, my love.
Lovely. Look forward to it.
Same. Have a good day, everyone. Lots of love.
Bye.